Hi, it's Red Snapper, and welcome to the Showgirl's Closet. Today, we'll look at a hat. I don't usually wear hats. I'm very rough and tumble. We've talked about fascinators before, but I do have a hat that I want to share with you. This is a hat that I made for a Showgirl costume. I wore this costume for Nearly Naked Nutcracker when Mr. Snapper and I hosted with Kitty Martini, because I was the Showgirl. So I had the Showgirl outfit and the Showgirl hat, and then I stripped and wore different outfits. But this hat, I needed something to match the gold, white, and blue outfit that I made, and this seemed like the perfect thing. So let's take a look. I recycle things, and I read somewhere that adulthood is having to decide whether or not to get rid of a really good box. And I think about that from time to time, like, oh, that's a good shoebox. I don't really want to get rid of that. I kind of want to save it because it could be used for something. I don't want to get rid of really good boxes. So this is one of the old school bark boxes, which is the perfect size for the hat. Wrapped in plastic so that I can keep the feathers safe. All right. This, I bought the hat base. I didn't make this. I'm not that great of a hat maker. I also keep a lavender sachet in the box to help discourage things that like to eat feathers from getting in there to eat the feathers. All right, so I lined this hat and I covered it in, I want to say this is broadcloth. It's not like the fanciest cloth. I just needed something that matched pretty well. And then this is bias tape along the edge, and the edge is wired because I did buy a hat base for this. These are cheaper rhinestones. They're still decent rhinestones, but they are cheaper rhinestones that are on here. They're not Swarovskis. They might have been old school Preciosa, so they don't have as many facets. And Preciosa has stepped in where Swarovski stepped off. Swarovski doesn't want their name associated with all sorts of crafty things that people make, so you have to ask them for a license. I think that's hilarious given their company's history. I highly recommend you look it up because Swarovski somehow is listed as being quiet during World War II. Just saying. Take a look. That's maybe enough shade, right?
Calling Swarovski. Yeah, that's
I'm saying there's history. They're maybe not now, but
they were. That's enough shade for now.
They were, and now they don't want people to buy and use their product unless they give you an official license.
No stones for you.
No stones for you. Exactly. Like,
they're definitely rhinestone.
They are rhinestone. They're rhinestone. Okay, so I took a white flower because I mentioned it was white, blue, and gold. So I took a white rose, and boy howdy did I rhinestone the shit out of that flower. I mean, when you put too many rhinestones on a flower, it starts to wilt because it's so heavy. That's something to keep in mind if you're rhinestoning your own flowers. But it's fine because I was the Showgirl. I needed to be dripping in rhinestones. I took some feathers and I bent them with steam. These are feathers from my first pair of feather fans that I made. They were like the junior version of, I think they were called junior fans. So they gave you like decent feathers. I think it was Fabulous Feathers that I bought the kit from, which is defunct. I think they became Fancy Feathers. I can't remember the names, but I think it was Fabulous Feathers because they would sell kits with staves and they'd give you varying degrees of quality for the feathers that came with the kit. And I bought the cheapest one because I wasn't as in it to win it, nor was I as well set in life as I guess I am now. Starving artist years. These, I'm picking things apart here. These little leaves I found in the floral section, and I want to say they may have already had rhinestones on them, but honestly, looking at the rhinestones, I doubt it. I'll buy stones of various sizes because they add really nice depth to things, and I want lots of sparkle. And boy, howdy does this sparkle. Then around the side, I've got ribbon, just sparkly ribbon, and this chain stuff that somebody gave me at a Stitch and Bitch. Somebody was like, I don't need this anymore. And they had, I want to say, a roll of this. And these are crappy rhinestones. This is craft section kind of stuff. I was like, that'll work. I need to add more crap to this hat. So I added that on there. And then this in front is a button, a really fancy button that probably came from one of those things as well. A Stitch and Bitch is also a crafternoon. It's where you get together and network and work on projects with other people in your particular field. So we would get together in Los Angeles. That was one of the things that I was introduced to very early, was the Stitch and Bitch. You go to somebody's house, a performer hosts it, you go to their house, it was like once a month, and different people would host. You bring the project you're working on, and then you can sit there and chat with people, and they'll make recommendations on like, oh, here's something you could do with your costume, and you drink and you gossip. I guess it's kind of like a sewing circle, and you would network. And I got so many gigs from these Stitch and Bitches because I'd talk to people when they'd say, oh, you know what I should do? I should host a show about this, or I should produce a show about this. And if you're there, then you could say, oh yes, that would be a great idea. I would love to do that show. Just like that. And you can learn so much from other performers. It was great as a newer performer to Los Angeles. I mean, I've been performing for a long time, just performing, but not performing burlesque. As a new burlesque performer, it was great to hear people talk about the things that they encountered and listen to their stories and talk about, like, this is a venue that sucks, so you don't really want to work there because the person is a creep, or, you know, all of that stuff. Social media wasn't the same as it is now as well. You would find out the hot goss from these Stitch and Bitches, Stitches and Bitches, bitches making stitches. And they were really fun. It was really fun. And if you're not good at doing projects on your own, I can do projects on my own all day long. Generationally, like, I'm fine. But if you can't do projects on your own and you need to be around other productive people in order to get the work done, which is something that we would do for finals for our design classes in school. We'd like have people over and we would work on our stuff all night long for our final presentation, where we'd have to say, today I have designed for you this thing. For our finals at the end of the semester. It's good for folks to work in the same space with people who are also working, even if you're not working on the same thing. And there wasn't a requirement to work. You could bring stuff to the Stitch and Bitch of like, oh, look, I brought a fruit tray and some Oreos. You know, it's kind of like a potluck, a snack potluck, and people would drink, and it was just a lot of fun. I do miss the Stitch and Bitch of Los Angeles. That was enjoyable. I think life has changed too much, and we've changed too much as people for it to be the same magical thing that it once was. Also, I'm here in Dallas, so I'm stitching and bitching in my sewing room to my dogs. All right, hat on. There we go. The comb is here, so it's meant to sit. Even though I'm parted on this side, I can do a middle part, or I'm poly part, I guess. I'm pan parted. So I can part wherever, but the comb is set so that it sits here. And when my hair was done, I was so fortunate that somebody else did my hair for the first night. They could do it so that it would line up beautifully on the part. My hair it's gonna slide out. I don't have a lot of stuff in my hair to help hold it in. I haven't added any bobby pins to it, but it's really nice in the back too, because the feathers curl around. I really like the hat. It's pretty lovely. I did a good job. Good job, me. Anyway, that's all I have for you for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and boop the bell for notifications. If you're interested in seeing more about Red Snapper doing Red Snapper things, Red Snapper the nudist doing silly things, then you can subscribe to my Patreon. There are levels for people who want to see varying degrees of things. We also have a special $5 level where I'm just here for the dog. If you want to help support Project Nutmeg, you can join Patreon. Sign up for that I'm just here for the dog $5 level, and you're not going to see anything. You're not going to see anything, nothing. You're just helping support our channel. And you will see me next time. Bye.